My name is Jeff Morgan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm going to talk a few minutes about the use of definitions, or the lack thereof, in the Texas Family Code. Now, the Texas Family Code is 1,525 pages. 1,525 pages. You can get a copy of this online as a PDF. The definitions are scattered throughout the Texas Family Code. For example, on pages 126 and 127, it talks about this chapter may be cited as a Collaborative Family Law Act. And Section 15.052 gives definitions. And over the next 2 pages, it gives definitions that pertain specifically to the Collaborative Family Law Act. Page 164, they talk about abortion. The first thing they do, of course, after abortion, they have the definition section. Abortion has the meaning assigned by this. Fetus means this. Guardian means this. Medical emergency means this. Physician, unemancipated minor. So the Texas Family Code says we want to make sure that we have the correct terms that are being used so that we have a complete understanding of what the definitions of these words are. Page 169, the authorization agreement for a non-parent adult caregiver. And we talk about what is the definition of an adult caregiver, what is the definition of a parent. The Juvenile Justice Code, pages 194 through 196, they also give definitions. Section 51.02, we talk about aggravated controlled substance, felony, and other definitions. That lasts a couple of pages. The definitions are provided for us in the Texas Family Code. So there should be complete clarity when we talk about what the term means when we are talking about something that's being used in the Texas Family Code. So in the Texas Family Code, in section 153.002, and this is on page 697 on the PDF that is available online, the best interest of the child. Certainly something as important as the best interest of the child should have a definition. So I'm looking down here, the best interest of the child, and what it says is this: the best interest of the child shall always be the primary consideration of the court in determining the issues of conservatorship and possession of and access to the child. Oh, that's well, fine and good. So, of course, the Texas Family Code is going to tell me what the best interest of the child means, correct? So I'm looking for the definition. Nowhere in the Texas Family Code, not in this section, nowhere in the Texas Family Code is the definition for the best interest of the child provided. So the best interest of the child is something that you can ask Joe Schmo off the street. What is the best interest of the child? And Joe Schmo may tell you one thing, or you can go to a family court judge, and somehow the family court judge has a better opinion than Joe Schmo off the street of what the best interest of the child is. And this is very interesting. I'll come back to this again in a moment, but somebody sent me a letter from Governor Rick Scott, who is now Senator of Florida, and they were asking him to sponsor a shared parenting bill. Now, Governor Scott wrote this in response. Dear Secretary Detzner, and he talks about the act relating to family law. And he says in his letter, and this is dated April 15th, 2016, Governor Scott, he says, as a husband, father, and grandfather, I understand the importance of family and the sensitivity and passion that comes with the subject of family law. Family law issues are very personal, and nearly every family comes to court with different circumstances and needs. As such, we must be judicious, and carefully consider the long-term and real-life repercussions on Florida families. The bill's proposed revisions to Florida's alimony and child custody laws have evoked passionate reactions from thousands of Floridans because divorce affects families in many different ways. Now, we're getting into the excuse part here. The one constant, though, is that when divorce involves a minor child, the needs of the child must come before all others. Current law directs a judge, or Joe Schmo, to consider the needs and interests of the children first when determining a parenting plan and time-sharing schedule. This bill, and this was the bill of 50-50 shared parenting, this bill has the potential to upend that policy in favor of putting the wants of a parent before the child's best interest by creating a premise of equal time sharing. Our judges must carefully consider each family's unique situation and abilities and put the best interests of the child above all else. For the reasons stated above, I withhold my approval of committee substitute for Senate Bill 668 and hereby veto the same. Sincerely, Rick Scott, Governor. Now, Rick Scott invokes this elusive best interest of the child. In the Texas Family Code, the best interest of the child has absolutely no definition whatsoever, and I am sure that the same thing is probably the case in Florida. But now what Governor Scott is saying is that somehow a judge is going to determine what is the best interest of the child. We don't even know what the best interest of the child is, but somehow this judge is going to just know. Joe Schmo off the street might know better than Judge so-and-so, who's sitting behind his robe and acting as he's a person in authority. Perhaps Joe Schmo off the street has studied child psychology. Perhaps he's studied family therapy. But this judge who has studied neither of this is going to have his gavel, and he's going to make a determination because somehow, by virtue of his black robe and his gavel and the place that he sits, he's magically going to be able to see, to know everything that's going on, see into the future, and say, I have now determined the best interest of the child is to not have both parents involved in the same degree in that child's life. In fact, the best interest of the child is going to be to say the child shall have neither parent 100-100, but the child shall somehow have the parents divided up in whether it be 50-50 or 60-40 or 80-20. This is what I am going to declare as the best interest of the child. Now, the Texas Family Code has the exact same problem because we don't have a definition for the best interest of the child. At least that's what I've thought. I've said, okay, there's no definition of the best interest of the child. And I must say that after making all of this case, that there's no definition for the best interest of the child, I must apologize because I have now been corrected. I have read the Texas Family Code, and this is on page 1103, and this talks about Section 201.107, State and Federal Funds, and this is Section C. The presiding judges and the Title IV agency shall act and are authorized to take any action necessary to maximize the amount of federal funds available under the Title IV program. Here is what the best interest of the child means in the state of Texas. The best interest of the child means whatever makes the state of Texas the most money. That is what it means. The presiding judges and the Title IV agency shall act and are authorized to take any action necessary to maximize the amount of federal funds available under the Title IV program. The best interest of the child is to somehow become a commodity for the state of Texas to say, how can we get more Title IV funding? How can we get more money coming into the state? The best interest of the child has nothing to do with the parents. We can't talk about the best interest of the child and the parent, the parent-child relationship. That has nothing to do with the best interest of the child. The best interest of the child shall be the best interest of the state. The presiding judges are not to really act in the best interest of the child. Well, actually they are. And the best interest of the child is what? The best interest of the child is that the presiding judges and the Title IV agency shall act and are authorized to take any action necessary. Any action necessary. The presiding judges and the Title IV agency and the other authorities are authorized to take any action necessary to maximize the amount of federal funds available to the state of Texas under the Title IV program. The best interest of the child actually now does have a definition, and I think that the legislature should actually go ahead and formalize this. They should go into the Texas Family Code and say the best interest of the child is whatever makes us, the state, the most money. At least then they would be truthful. This garbage that Senator and at that time Governor Rick Scott said, you know, this bill, this equal shared parenting bill, has the potential to upend the policy of the best interest of the child, the most money to the state, in favor of putting the wants of a parent who wants to be with his child, father and mother, they both want to be with their children. We can't have that when there's money at stake. It upends the policy in favor of putting the wants of a parent, and maybe even the wants of a child, because most children want to be with both parents. They actually want both parents together under the same house, living together. That is actually the best interest of the child, which many family codes refuse to acknowledge, even though child pediatricians and psychologists and family therapists will tell you that the best interest of the child in almost every case is to be raised with his or her natural mother and father in an intact family. But in the state of Texas, the best interest of the child will be whatever will maximize federal funds. And in Florida as well, we cannot have a policy that might put the wants of a parent and even the needs of a child before the child's best interest, which, according to our definitions, is making money for the state. We cannot create a premises for equal time shared parenting. No, 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 no. That obviously is not in the best interest of the children. It is amazing how these politicians that are making money off of your children are becoming commodities to make money for the state, are doing this under the guise of acting in the best interest of the children. By the way, the individual who was widely quoted as being the author of the doctrine of the best interest of the children is Adolf Hitler. People will suffer a lot of evil if they think we are doing it in the best interest of the children. Our judges must consider each family's unique situation and abilities and put the best interest of the child, that means in the way to bring the most money into the state, above all else. Thank you.